Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the very best. Show enough soul. Jazzy Fizzle.
Welcome my subscribers and friends. I wanted to do something a little bit different. This guy behind me, I did some comments, put some comments on his video, and he responded with a video with the comments that I posted on his page. So in the video he said this.
Hey, guess what I do? We're gonna play in this video update a little game of claim and fact.
So I said, well, let's play Jeopardy. And the contestant is... So let's go on with the
Florida
show.
now in black voter registration, which is interesting, and I'm
already
not exactly sure.
We continue to see large numbers turning out to register to vote.
We haven't seen this kind of activity in our recent history.
Voter sign-ups keep on coming. In Miami-Dade, 60 to 100 temporary workers help keep pace.
We expected a lull right after the primary election. That has not been the case. In fact, the numbers continue to increase.
Indeed, lots of South Floridians signed up late last year so they could vote in the January 29th primary. But since the primary cutoff, lots more new registrations. In Miami-Dade, about 40,000. In Broward, 36,000. And it's decidedly not just South Florida. An Associated Press survey just completed shows 3.5 million Americans signing up to vote during this
Claim evangelicals in the Bible Belt tend to live in rural areas. There's actually no way of proving that. He didn't source any information. But he said,
well, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, it says this, and I once again had to go to the library. It says, likewise, although evangelicals are dispersed across the United States, they tend to live disproportionately in small towns. 31% in rural areas, 25% compared to Americans in general, 22 to 18% respectively. Okay? It's not... What I'm really talking about, understand what I'm talking about when I say rural areas, okay? Democrats do well in cities, okay? Evangelicals is dominated by who? Okay, Republicans. All right, Republicans do better where? In rural areas outside those cities. That's what I meant by that.
Mississippi has a better chance of voting for Obama because they lost a big congressional seat to the Democrats. Here is the quote. He said that you also didn't mention in Mississippi that the Republicans lost a congressional seat to Democrats and a highly conservative area.
I was trying to insinuate that Obama could do better than expected since the Democrats won a congressional seat in Mississippi. The strategy is to do better than expected in the areas that he's expected to lose and overdrive the support in areas that he's going to win in. That's his strategy. Here's the reason why I think that Obama will win southern states, some southern states in the South, especially Georgia and Virginia. Here's the reason why. Here's a map of Obama's vote among self-identified conservatives. Notice Georgia and notice Virginia in the map with the high number of conservative voters to Obama. Then another reason why, number 2, would be Mr. Bob Barr. He is suspected to take conservative vote from Mccain. Number 3 would be African American turnout. Okay? You know that Obama's gonna drive up African American support. The 4th reason why is low enthusiasm amongst Republicans. So that's one of the 4 elements of way I think that Obama has a better chance presidential candidate in 40 years of winning the South.
Childers is actually a conservative Democrat. He's not a liberal Democrat. So to say, and at least insinuate,
On the rise, higher food costs. Mississippi families have less money to spend. But Travis Childers wants to
went up on the air linking the Democratic candidate to Obama with some ads that many people were questioning as to whether or not they did not have racial overtones.
Tell Travis Childers to reject the tax increase his liberal friends in Congress support. Freedom's Watch is
congressional district might lean more towards Obama because they just voted Democrat.
Seismic election. Believe me, you can. The earth moved, Keith. The Democrats have won Denny Hassert's seat in Illinois, Republican seat. This is a district that voted for George Bush with over 60% of the vote.
38% was the average margin of victory in the counties of that district for George W. Bush.
This is a district that voted for George Bush with over 60% of the vote. Vice President Cheney was in there yesterday. And if in fact the Democrat wins that seat tonight, 3 Republican districts that have gone to the Democrats are a really extraordinary indication of what's going on.
That congressional district might lean more towards Obama because they just voted Democrat would be a little ignorant.
Look, let's be realistic. We can spin it any way we want to, but that is not a good sign. That Mississippi race was a critical one. It's one the Republicans should have won. I, in fact, went there and campaigned for the candidate. It looked like that we had a real shot at that. And I think that it really does indicate that the Republican brand...
What's wrong with John McCain is symptomatic of what's wrong with the Republican Party in these first years of the 21st century. They talk one thing but do something different, and that's become very obvious to the American people. And when you look, for example, at what the Republican Party in the Congress has done since losing their majorities in 2006, you see absolutely no new program, new leadership or vision put forward. And that's one of the reasons, of course, why I think we see over 80% of the American people concluding that the country is on the wrong track. And going
also claims that Ross Perot in 1992 helped Bill Clinton win the presidency, but he also mentions it in the context of Bob Barr.
Elections, Democrats have faced challenges from independent candidate Ralph Nader. Well, this time, Republicans have their own problems. Bob Barr, the former Republican congressman from Georgia, who is now the Libertarian Party nominee for president, and he joins us from Portland.
Remember, third candidate put up Bill Clinton in the state in 1992. So again, it's hard to tell if he lost Perot or helped.
Those polls, this is very, very early in the campaign. We anticipate once we really launch our campaign full-time after July 4th, to see those numbers increase, not just in those couple of states that you mentioned, but elsewhere around the country. And of course, I and the Libertarian Party will be on the ballot, and we hope. It's
hard to tell. Obama is the most liberal senator in Congress.
There is a chorus of barking dogs who are beginning to harmonize on this idea of Barack Obama being the most liberal senator in Congress. You may recall that in 2004, John Kerry was coincidentally the most liberal senator. Is it true, or is it just Republicans trying to marginalize the candidate? We have a great tool to find out, and it's called ProgressivePunch.org. They weight every vote cast and they score every senator for how often they take a position on the left. And this is not just some person's impressions. The results are mathematically derived and transparent. It is Dick Durbin. Dick Durbin, most liberal.
Obama is the most liberal senator in Congress.
Takes left-wing positions 98% of the time. So Obama must be number 2, right? No, that's actually Frank Lautenberg, followed by Sheldon Whitehouse, Bob Menendez, Chuck Schumer, Jack Reed, Sherrod Brown, Ben Cardin, Barbara Boxer, and Bernie Sanders. On the next page, we have Patty Murray, Pat Leahy, and John Kerry, who comes in at number 13 here in reality.
We're going to play, in this video update, a little game of Claim and
Daniel Akaka, Maria Cantwell, and Ron Wydius, because we're not even halfway to Barack Obama. The man is number 43. He takes progressive positions 82% of the time. When most liberals spin around Barack Obama, just remember, there is an honest analysis out there, and the real answer is 43. ProgressivePunch.org uses every vote that had an ideological split, and they just add them up transparently. Joe Felice, Air America Media. See you next time.